success that we've had has definitely made it a little bit easier.
Kyle, so what happened to the transition period of going to a new team and a new manufacturer?
It's been a short one. It's been pretty good. You know, we've had some great success and some great luck so far with the Gibbs stuff, and you know, I think we're proving that the Gibbs equipment is just as good as the Hendrick stuff, and that we're able to capitalize on what we've got over there with all those guys and working with Denny and Tony and all the crew chiefs and all the guys back at the shop being able to make that switch from Chevrolet to Toyota this off season. They've done a whale of a job, and you know, the engine shop, they found us some horsepower, but we had to give some of that back for the reliability issues there in Daytona and last week. So hopefully here when we get to the 600, we'll probably be back on pace where we want to be, and you know, hopefully being able to run down the straightaways a little bit faster. But at least the corners are going well for us right now.
Yeah, Steve Richards with PRN. Kyle, you kind of downplayed being the points leader right now. I mean, it's got to mean, what does it mean to you? It's got to mean something, right?
Well, I mean, it's cool and it's fun and it's great and all, but you know, we're 2 weeks in. We need it 2 weeks to go, and you know, it doesn't matter what happens from here till you know, till Atlanta or Phoenix there in the fall. You know, so you know, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of laps. There's a lot of corners to go through and a lot of pit stops and everything else. So, you know, I mean, it's fine and dandy to be leading in the Craftsman truck, and of course the nationwide, or being second in the nationwide and leading again in the Cup Series. But you know, we know that the truck stuffs, we're going to fall out there a little bit. We're going to fall out somewhat in the nationwide stuff if we don't decide to go run the full season. And you know, the Cup stuff is our strong point. That's going to be our focus, of course. So I mean, hopefully we can keep it and you know, ride this wave for however long it lasts. I'm a pretty good surfer, so I mean, it shouldn't be too hard.
Any other questions?
David Caravello with NASCAR.com. Kyle, can you talk a little bit about what it's like to grow up in this city? Those of us who come here a couple of times a year, we see the racetrack, we see the strip, we don't see anything else. But when you grow up here, I mean, do those places even exist to you? Are they like two completely different, you know, separate entities? Just what's it like? Well, I mean,
I grew up, you know, in our little house that we had over there on Sahara and Jones, and then you know, from there it was to go to Durango High School during the day, and or my junior high school or my elementary or whatever it was. You know, just go to school, go home, work on race cars, play with RC cars, whatever it entailed. And then the weekend stuff was always going out to the racetrack. You know, so that's pretty much where I lived. And you know, there were some times where you know, as a family we'd go down to the strip and go to Game Works or something like that, or you know, go check out some other thing, go to bowling or whatever. You know, there's some stuff to do here in town, but you know, other than that, we always pretty much kept it at home, and you know, always focused on you know, on schoolwork or racing.
Kyle, youngest to win a Cup pole, Cup race, first to win a Car of Tomorrow last year race. What would it mean to you, if anything, to be the first to win a Cup race for Toyota?
Well, first points race would definitely be pretty special. I mean, it's something that, you know, all of us want to do, and we've come close there at Daytona. We had a great race car there with our M&M's Toyota, and then you know, last weekend in the Interstate Batteries car, we had another great car, just not quite as good as we wanted it to be there at the end of the race, so we weren't able to quite keep up with those guys. Plus, we had to come back from a bit of pit road miscue or whatever, but it seems like there's a party out in the hallway. We might want to join that here in a minute. But you know, the fact lies that you know, if we can win any time, that's what you want to do. And luckily, I was able to get my first win in a Toyota there last weekend, and in the truck race, and we finished second twice so far in the nationwide stuff. And I think we've got a good shot at being able to win a nationwide race here this weekend, and we were really good in the test, we felt like, with the Cup car too. So I think there should be some good strong suits for this weekend coming up, and being able to hopefully run out of here with a win.
Mark Ashenfelter with ESPN. Kyle, is there any chance you could add and try to win the nationwide championship, or are you guys not even giving that any thought at this point?
Well, there's some thought about it, yeah. You know, after what's next weekend, Atlanta? After Atlanta next weekend, we're going to kind of decide and reevaluate where we're at in points, and if we're still, you know, up there, probably top 2, top 3, then we'll decide if we want to go to Mexico City or not. And you know, right now it's not on the list, but there's guys that are calling, trying to get a ride in that 20 car for down there. So I might be stealing a ride from somebody probably to try to go down there and run in that race. But, I think that we'll have a great shot. I think Tony's going to skip Atlanta. So, I mean, we'll probably be the points leader coming out of Atlanta, if everything goes right here this weekend and goes right in Atlanta. But, we'll see. I think that the possibility's there, but I'm not going to do whatever it takes to get practice in a Busch or a Nationwide car. I'm basically just going to worry about the Cup stuff and show up and race a Nationwide car if I have to.
Any other
Need
questions?
some sponsorships, by the way. Sponsors wanted. The 18 Busch car, Nationwide car, whatever you want to call it. Please, thank you.
Question?
I think there's one more. Yes, sir.
Kyle, not winning the Daytona 500 when you had it in your hand, I guess as an observer, it looked like you were going to win it. How do you get over that? And does it help that the races come back to back, that you don't have time to dwell on it? But have you thought a lot about it since then? Go back and your mind goes back and you say, I missed the big one. No,
not really. I mean, what's most frustrating is that I'm more worried in trying to figure out why I can only finish fourth. I've got like 4 fourth-place finishes in my last 6 Cup races or something like that. So I'm kind of aggravated with that already. But it's just trying to get to victory lane. It doesn't matter to me if it's in a Daytona 500 or if it's in the California 500 or if it's here in the Las Vegas 400. It's just trying to get to the winner's circle and trying to rally up some more trophies to put on the trophy case.
Kyle, Fred Inglis from KTVU in Oakland. Can you talk about over here? Can you talk about everyone talks about team chemistry and talking about getting used to each other and all. How was that dynamic with you and Tony and Denny too? And was it as easy as you had hoped? Is it still a work in progress?
Actually, it's been way easier than I expected. Denny and I, we're great friends anyway, off the racetrack, on the racetrack. We've got some of the same friends off the racetrack, and we share. And so for us, it's been pretty easy. We work well together, and we talk an awful lot. He always comes over to my motorhome. I always go over to his motorhome. We talk about things, and we try to catch up with each other in the garage area and whatnot. But, Tony and I, it's a little bit harder to get in touch with Tony just because he's always in Indiana. He's not in Charlotte and stuff, so we don't get a chance to hang out outside the racetrack. But when we're here together, we tend to talk a little bit, and especially at the test. The test this off season were pretty special with the Atlanta test, and then again with the Daytona test. I wasn't there at the same time they were, but we were able to communicate and talk a little bit. And then the Vegas test and the California test went great too. So it's been pretty easy, and it's been pretty good. And now with our team meetings that we're having after practices and stuff, that's coming along really well too. So we're able to communicate there as well.
All right. Any last questions?
If this has been asked, I apologize. I just got back from Dale Jarrett's thing, but
how's Dale doing?
He's good. He's
right.
driving. Rudiment's driving a Kentucky Derby car. That was
All right.
A lot of people are starting to try to come up with comparisons for you to guys who've been around a long time. Some of the old time drivers, the stars. Number one, that's obviously a great compliment to your driving abilities. Number two, are there guys that you sort of watched and admired over the course of your adolescence and youth that you thought, man, I like the way that guy handles a race car, that you would aspire to be like as you move forward?
Well, I think my favorite driver growing up, of course, was Jeff, and just because when I started really paying attention and watching racing, he was the kind of guy that came on the scene and was being successful and winning races, winning 8, 10, 13 races a year, and so just wanting to be like him, being able to win that much and be as successful as he was is what I'd like to be like. But everybody kind of has been comparing me to Tim Richmond. I've heard a few Gordon comparisons. I've heard a few Earnhardt Sr. comparisons. So, it's all flattering and everything. But, I guess somebody's always going to get compared to people from the past. But, I'm here to make Kyle Busch's name my name.
All right. I think we're all set. Thank you very much.
All right,
Have a great
thanks,
day.
guys.